Hi, I'm Eric. This is Jonathan, and we're talking about SSDs. So solid-state disks, SSDs, what is so great about them?
So solid-state disks have an advantage over hard drives when it comes to performance. They don't have any moving parts, and the technology within them allows for very high-speed RAM.
So SSDs more about performance, or is there a reliability aspect to it as well?
It's more about performance. People choose SSDs for environments with a lot of random I/O. In fact, they have less reliability than traditional hard drives because there's a limited number of times you can write each NAND flash cell.
Are there other factors that are important to having to why an SSD performs as well as it does, or why it's well suited for those environments?
So when you talk about high I/O environments, you're talking about areas of virtualization or where you have a lot of random writes and reads going to the same disk at the same time. Not all SSDs will perform the same, so just because you have an SSD doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get amazing performance.
Is it because of the NAND itself, or is it because of the controller, or is it a combination?
It's everything. Which operating system you're using it and how it behaves and writes to the disk, down to the controller on that SSD, and then finally to the NAND flash on that.
So the operating system itself, the file system that's actually on top of the SSD, that plays a role as well?
Right, that's right. So whether you're using Windows, Linux, or Unix, and whether you're using a RAID controller will all affect the performance of that SSD.
What are some sort of applications that are best suited, would you say, for SSD?
A lot of SSDs are used today in highly virtualized environments. Multiple machines or writers writing to a single disk, which creates this randomness effect or a blendered effect that you have multiple write streams happening at the same time, which looks like random I/O, versus a traditional hard drive, which works well for long sequential reads or writes.
Difference between enterprise, consumer, there's pretty much SSDs all over the internet. Is there a difference between what goes in the enterprise and what goes in a consumer device?
Beyond just the huge difference in cost and price, there's a lot of difference in the technology and the type of NAND used. So when an enterprise drive for SSDs are delivered, they're getting the best and the highest quality NAND. Whereas in a consumer grade drive, it's typically a lower quality NAND chip. You can get unpredictable performance by using a consumer grade NAND or flash drive in an enterprise environment.
So NAND controller, and you already said that those are some of the differentiating factors in terms of performance, but then also endurance, because the higher quality NAND have a longer endurance or better endurance than
right. When the manufacturers are creating drives and they're binning the NAND, they're putting their best NAND into the enterprise drives and putting the NAND that hasn't met all the performance specifications or the endurance specifications in the consumer grade drive because of the cost associated with that.
Any security differences between the consumer and enterprise?
I think security depends. There are in the enterprise drive, there are things like TCG and FIPS 140-2 certifications for encryption. Those don't typically exist in the consumer grade drives.
Gotcha. So big difference between enterprise and consumer drives in terms of endurance, performance as well, and even security. I'm Eric, and this is Jonathan. Talk to you next time.